Happy Wednesday, church family. I'm coming to you from one of my favorite places in the world, the Jackson Fraser wetlands. And it's a beautiful morning here. I want to invite you to think about something. Maybe one of the most important things you'll think about today or during this unique season that we find ourselves in. Because what we're experiencing is a kind of a threshold moment in the life of our nation and our world, and even potentially in your lives. And threshold moments are not altogether pleasant to go through. They usually involve the loss of things that we were used to. They involve pain, they involve grief, they involve uncertainty. But threshold moments are one of the primary ways that God grows us in our life and our faith. And you have two options when you face threshold moments in your spiritual life, in your life in general. You can continue to go through the threshold moment to the other side, to something new, to something that is unknown, but deeper and richer than what was before. The hard thing about moving forward is you continue to go down that uncertain path. The other thing that happens in threshold moments is you re-entrench. You go back to what was familiar, even if it was unpleasant, because it feels safer, because it feels like something that you're used to. And you actually miss out on an opportunity to grow and mature during that threshold moment. And it becomes harder the next time you experience a threshold moment to walk across the bridge into growth and maturity. And so it's been interesting to watch our culture in the last, 6 or 7 weeks here. And in the midst of this threshold moment in our world, I've noticed that people are re-entrenching in old rhetoric, in old fault lines, whether they're political or social, relational, cultural, whatever they are. And so even in the uncertainty, some of us in our culture are going back to what was familiar, even though we might loathe it or say that we despise it. So I'm thinking about Joseph's words to his brothers in Genesis 50. If you remember, his brothers had betrayed him. They had sold him into slavery, and God had, provided for him and made it possible for him not only to survive, but to provide for his whole family. And after his father Jacob's death, they come to Joseph, and they're still afraid of what he might do. And he says these really powerful words to them. He says, you intended to harm me, but God used it for good. God took that thing that you intended for evil, and he brought good things out of it. And so don't be afraid. And I love that phrase because it doesn't dismiss the evil, the hardship, the difficulty that Joseph faced. And in this season, we shouldn't dismiss the difficulty that we are facing, that people in our lives, in our culture, in our world are going through. There are difficult things, evil things even, that are happening. And yet in the midst of that, part of being a follower of Jesus means that we believe that God is working for the good in the midst of that. And that God can actually take these threshold moments, these crises, and turn them into very powerful moments of transformation. I believe God is at work. I believe God is doing new things. And he's inviting us to respond, to trust, even in the uncertainty, even in the unknown, with the new things that he's doing. But he won't force us across the bridge into something new, and I can't force you across the bridge into something new. And so we stand at a threshold moment, and I want to invite you to really ask God and ask yourself, well, what does it look like for you? Not to re-entrench into old thought patterns or old ways of doing things, but to say, God, we're going to follow you into the uncertainty. Our regional pastor, Randy Myers, polled our conference ministers about some of the emotions that they're feeling during this time. And the top two emotions, interestingly enough, were hope and uncertainty. And the interesting thing about those two things is they usually go together. With uncertainty, we have an opportunity for hope. And we hope for what God might do. And so I want to invite you to hope. I want to invite you in the season of uncertainty and the unknown to trust that God is at work, that he's bringing good even in a not good situation. And let's see the new thing that God is doing together as we trust in his work. So may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Till next time.